you can be one too. 'Cause saving our planet is the thing to do. Looting and polluting is not the way. Hear what Captain Planet has to say. The power is yours, 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 yours. Brought to you by Ted Turner. Hey guys, welcome back to the Bucket Think Tank. So, Captain Planet Planeteers finished its sixth issue. Is it a mini? Is it just the beginning, as the last page says? I'm not entirely sure. Oof, this is actually very unstable. But anyway. So, I finished it. We went over the first issue a while back, and I was thinking, if it's gonna be just a one and done six issue mini, might as well wait for it all to finish and sort of bring our thoughts into that. And honestly, as a mini, I think it does a lot of good things. If it's just a one through six issues, you know what? Fine. If it's supposed to be more, there's some problems here. Not a lot of big problems, but it felt like we rushed some things here. So the overall premise is that, well, we played along with the mythos a lot more. So in the original, Gaia is the spirit of Earth. In this one here, Gaia is one of a long line of priestesses to represent Earth, and the champion being Captain Planet. I'm like, okay. This time, the bad guys are all working together. It's a coalition. Like they already know each other. They're all part of one big corporation, Plunder, and they're looking for Gaia and the rings. I'm like, okay. And Captain Planet is the champion. He's coming in to protect Gaia. I don't think we spent a lot of time explaining exactly how that dynamic works. Can she just summon Captain Planet anytime to help? Then what do we need the kids for? I don't know. But anyway, after Gaia gets kidnapped, of course, the rings get dispersed off to five special young people. And the best thing was it was fleshed out. Kwame's not just from Africa; he's from Ghana. I'm like, okay, that's good because Africa's a continent. So, yeah. Wheeler's from New York. In this case, actually, he's from Detroit. In this one, so he's got to go in. The automobile industry is not really a thing here. Linka is, well, I don't know where they're from. Russia said she was from. Um, Guy is from South Korea. Mati is from Brazil. I'm like, okay. And they've all sort of fleshed out their stories here. Wheeler is involved in a bit of, activism. Uh, Linka is the daughter of a wealthy oil tycoon or oil magnate, and she's protesting, going all these protests, willing to tear down the system. Guy is a marine biologist. Kwame is sort of dealing with the fact he used to be a big soccer star, and now he's sort of like enjoying the quiet life down in the area, helping out as a community. So there's something fun about all that. Um, how they all get the call when they each get a ring and there's something happens shows sort of like let us dip the toe into who they are. I'm like, okay. Marty seems the most interesting because he seems like, yeah, I've killed a man before. I've watched the life leave his eyes, and I've decided that's not who I am. Everyone else feels like, yeah, we help out here and there. Like, no, Marty's got blood on his hands, and I like that. We get a bit of mention that hey, there's always two, the champion and the priestess, and again, I still don't know why we need to. I'm guessing is that the five rings are wielded by the priestess normally, but this priestess was going to constantly attack, couldn't always fight back, and I think the idea is that over time, the the planets not doing so well. All right, and so the rings were scattered to five people because it's easier, or in this case, harder for the bad guys to find all of them if they're all set in different places. So now we see them all coming together, and I like this idea because before they're all summoned together and they all kind of know what's going on. Here, only like three of them definitely know what's going on here. But what's important is a lot of them are bringing their own personal baggage here. We already talked about Mati. Marty, blood on his hands. Wheeler seems to be carrying some chip on his shoulder. Linka is sort of realizing, I protest. I'm all against the system, but I tend to kind of doing all this to hide it to you because I'm kind of ashamed of my privilege. I never actually go to jail because my dad's rich. um, and of course, she meets, Wheeler, and it's the tale of as old as time. If you remember Captain Planeteers, these two when they're on again, off again, will they, won't they? More than on again, off again. But here they come in hard. I love it. It's great. It's great. Kwame and Gee seem to be the ones most ready for this. Like, hey, we can do this. All right, we have this calling. Let's go. All right. Um, Wheeler and Gee, Wheeler and Linka, yeah, they don't know how to be quiet. They don't know how to be calm. But luckily, Kwame and Gee come in. But Monty's one like, guys, shut up. All right. Because he's the one, because of his ring, the power of heart, he's able to more directly connect to Captain Planet, and they let their powers combine: earth, fire, wind, water, heart. And I like it. I like it a lot. We'll see how this is done, and of course the actual new design for Captain Planet. We don't redefine the wheel a lot. It looks less like he's wearing a T-shirt like the original version. I like the shoulder pads. I like it all comes together where, like, the sort of rocks for the shoulder pads come together with the wood into the circle, like, which is supposed to be, I guess, the fire or the around the heart, and a sort of windy greenish flame. The beard, I'm on and off again with the beard. I'm never quite sure how I feel about the beard. But at the end of the day, they fight off. We see Captain Planet villains from the original series coming in. Like I said, they're all together this time. This is all one big corporation working for plunder. I like it. We see them all sort of like finally talk to each other, sort of get together. And again, there's that issue here. We see Guy as a massive science nerd. I mean, she's a marine biologist. It'd be weird if she wasn't. And we then see the drama. I always like when you bring this team together, and some people say it's cliche. There's one guy that doesn't want to do it, but it makes sense. Like, you know what? I didn't sign up for this. Wheeler has a huge chip on his shoulder, which I think is also one of the reasons that got him to be selected by the ring. Also, is he really a young person? He looks 30. He looks like he really wanted to be Guy Gardner. All right, it's like he really watched Green Lantern and said, "That Gardner guy, that's me. That's me." And actually, if you think about Wheeler in the original series, he was always Guy Gardner. um, we see Plunder coming in. Plunder's the guy sort of reaching out. The real antagonist here, I think he always was. This sort of cements it. Like, everyone here, Dr. Blight. I don't think we see Horace Greeley here. But they're all sort of working under Plunder Corporation. So that's great. We see a little back and forth. Like, first we see exactly who everybody gets along with. Guy and Kwame click instantly. Mati seems to really not quite click with everybody, but I like the back and forth between Guy and Linka, especially when it comes to something like Wheeler, because Linka seems to think she's the only one who takes this serious. Like, you don't know exactly what's going on out there. Guy's like, I'm a marine biologist. Don't tell me how bad things are out there. Do you know now? Do you know how bad the polar ice cap smells? Do you know what a tsunami does to the human body? No, no, okay. I know all of what's happening to the planet right now. I keep going because that's kind of all I can do. All right, and I have faith that we're gonna not screw up as a species. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. We'll find out the hard way. Um, uh, what's really good about this story is we see all these pieces come together. We see everything is very character driven, at least from my perspective. Like, Wheeler's clearly has a chip on his shoulder. Plunder's sort of appealing to that. He's as the industrial, like, hey, look, things aren't that easy. We'd like to be eco-friendly and everything, but as Wheeler points out, like, a lot of these energy-friendly cars are going to cost a lot of people jobs, which are going to mess up the economy. And here's the thing: you mess up the economy, you're going to see an increase in crime. All right, and we've seen 1,000 times before. Whenever we try to sort of go this route, the economy suffers, and when the economy goes bad, crime tends to go up. So, yeah, this isn't a simple idea, and it to the I want to give points to the story for trying to bring that up, but it never really deals with sort of an interesting way. Um, Plunder's plan here, I felt, was pretty interesting, especially the back and forth with Gaia. Gaia, who's really not that interesting in this story, but then again, Gaia's never been interesting. The best thing about her was her design, always her design, and now she's sort of like, yeah, she's stuck here, but in Captain Planet, she was stuck on the island anyway, so screw it, it's the same thing. Plunder's plan is to become Captain Pollution. Now, if you remember, Captain Pollution was revealed much later in the series. Okay, they all got together like, hey, let's make anti-powers to make anti-Captain Planet. It's like, no, the plan was always Captain Pollution. And this is sort of where the book kind of loses me. Like the nuance is kind of gone, which is fine. It's Captain Planet Planeteers, all right. The bad guys are supposed to obviously be bad guys, so whatever. But what I like about these sort of last two issues, it's where the Planeteers sort of lock in. Plunder makes a sort of speech about who he is and what, say, the planet is. That, humans are too far gone. We do all this consumption because we secretly want to die, we want to be destroyed, we want to numb ourselves. We don't care about the planet. Humanity is totally willingly going to its own destruction. And Kwame, and this is why I like the Planeteer, because Kwame locks it like, no, 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 that's not happening. All right, Guy Linka. So he's created a Category 5 hurricane. I need you guys to save all the people. I will deal with Captain Pollution. And I was all like, Kwame, you just because one thing about this is I think it does more than it ever did before, like the rings. Because Kwame's making trees. He's made himself armor. He's made himself into a golem. I love it. And he's fighting Captain Pollution. Love it. Mati's powers are sort of fleshed out. It's not. I cannot just connect with you, Planeteers. I can connect you. I can connect to your fears, your shame, your heartbreak. I will make you feel things that you've been trying not to feel. All right. Technically, this means that he's going to drive people to commit suicide. To do the thing. Uh, Wheeler sort of reveals his own problems here. But what I do like about it is everyone's doing something. All right. This isn't Kwame's story. This isn't Gee's story. This isn't Lincoln's story. Even though Wheeler is the one with possibly the most interesting story here, it's not just his story. Everyone here is doing something. Everyone here is active. Gee and Link are not just saving hostages. They're fighting a hurricane, a Category 5 hurricane. All right. I love it. Gee says, look, I'm waterbending. I don't know how I'm waterbending. And Link is like, I punched a hurricane today. Let's go. Let's go. And Wheeler comes to face with some of his own demons. I love it. We get another let our power. What happens if this goes in the wrong order or a different order? Like it's not really wrong order. I guess because what if you do like wind first? All right. Does it have to be earth, then fire, then wind, then water, then heart? What if you do heart first? Is it like nothing? It's like a spark with nothing there? Like okay, I don't know. And we see Captain Planet with anchor arms. Anchor arms. I'm in. I love it. Okay. This becomes like one huge argument because yeah, look, humanity is not perfect. All right. Yeah. They're a bit frustrating sometimes, but they have an amazing capacity to strive for good, to do good, and to be good. Okay. Even Captain Self, look, in all my years, in all my centuries, in all my millennia, they never cease to amaze me. All right. So this is why Captain Planet keeps going because for all of our faults, we will always rise to the occasion. Eventually, we get there at some point. And of course, this is why I think this is a mini because they jump to this over the course of the story. I get it. I get their back and forth, but I this was like the Ninja Turtles when April and the first Ninja Turtles when April and Casey got together at the end of it. Okay. If there was one problem I'd have with this is with the understanding that if this isn't a 6 issue mini, it has a lot of work to do going forward. We get like enough to get interested in the Planeteers, but not enough to I think to really say, okay, we can't go forward. Like we have a lot of work to do going forward. Like what do their families think about this? Link at some point is gonna have to deal with her father. Wheeler's gonna have to deal with what he did. Monty's gonna have to face his past more directly. You know, I don't quite know any of what's going on here. Is Guy bisexual? I don't know. Is she just a lesbian? I don't know. At the end of the day, I don't particularly care unless if the story's good. I don't. If the story's good, no one cares. Another thing is because it's just supposed to be a simple one and done, I'm a bit more forgiving of it because there's a lot we're not discussing here. Like I said before, the whole idea of people losing their jobs for these more energy efficient cars and automation and all this, it's never really discussed in a sort of interesting way of this sort of back and forth. I've made this case before when I talk about what exactly a woke story is. Superman Son of Kal-El, in my opinion, is a woke story because instead of actually delving into any of the numerous issues it presents, it just spends most of its time patting itself on the back for making John Kent bisexual. That's it. John Kent is always right, but there's never any room for any nuance to try actually trying to fix these problems. Which is worse because you're in a superhero community and they all can fix things. But whatever. At the end of the day, this is fun, like I said, as is. Um, and you're like, hey, this is a one and done, like a little movie, and there we go. I'm like, fine. This is like, hey, we're doing a new series. You have a lot of work to do because this could very easily go wrong. So, like I've always said, readers and viewers don't like to be lectured to. They like to be informed. If you tell them, hey, this is a problem going on here with this civil issue, with this social issue, you inform them and then say, hey, this is side A, this is side B. You don't have to be like, and they'll read the bias. They'll read the bias if there is, and like, okay, story was good. I learned something, and I will go forward with this new information. There we go. Even Captain Planet Planeteers has already had certain things debunked, like the population thing and consumerism. Um, but for the most part, I think they were pretty much right on just about everything else. Don't quote me on it. I've not only do I barely remember most of the episodes, I remember the one about the AIDS, the time they met Hitler, um, Lincoln becoming an addict. um, let's see here. There was another one. Let's see the AIDS, Captain Pollution's debut. Um, there was one about a bunch of rats. Don Porkaloid with Horace Greeley. Um, but if you look at it, there should be sort of this idea, um, especially now, because everyone is like thirsting for more progressive stories. It's a weird thing to say, because I think people think that if you don't like women in Star Wars, or like that's your issue with Star Wars, like, oh, you didn't like the sequel trilogy, well, you don't like women, you didn't like Superman Son of Kal-El, well, you don't like bisexual Superman. Like, well, there's probably some people that don't, but most people just felt these stories were terrible. All right, like if you made John Kent straight the whole issue, you still would have had a bunch of issues that just weren't that interesting. All right, you're just patting yourself on the back when it comes to sort of progressive issues, or not just progressive, like, I don't really like to label them as such. Like, social issues, civil issues, um, issues about the environment. These are all things that affect all of us, and people like to hear about them. People like to be informed about them. But if you come off as sort of like a jerk, or like you're just trying to, like, just finger wagging at them, like, aren't I great for bringing this up? You lose them. They don't want to hear you anymore. All right. Ask me about my feminist agenda. No, I don't want to. I just want to read a good book. All right. And if you're gonna answer any of my critiques with, you don't like women or you don't like feminism, I'm just not gonna keep going. Don't be Kelly Sue DeConnick, people. She didn't write that book. She didn't write Mockingbird with Ask About My Feminist Agenda. But remember that famous line from Kelly Sue DeConnick.
If you don't like my politics, don't buy my book. Problem solved.
Because they didn't buy her book. But that has nothing to do with Captain Planet. Overall, like I said, these 6 issues, fine. Fine. I liked it. It was nice to see the group back together. We played along with the mythos. We expanded characters. That's what we should be doing with these. Or going full ham like Snagglepuss, Jetsons, and the Flintstones. All right? We gotta have fun with it. All right? Even if you want to have a message, have fun with it. Good story comes before good message. It's just the way it works. Just the way it works. All right. Good story means I paid attention to the message. There we go. What did you guys think? If you read this, what did you think about it? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Would you like to see more of this? I wouldn't mind it. Honestly, I want to see Linka meet up with her dad and have that sort of conversation. I want to see Monty and Wheeler's past sort of come face to face with them. I want Guy to sort of. I want to know if Guy's just a super nerd or if she definitely was catching feelings for that other scientist. I want to know. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. I'll catch you all later. This is Bucket Think Tank signing off. Thanks for watching. As always, may your fandom serve you well.